Why do 16-year-olds need 6 million followers on TikTok?
They don't. And if you haven't watched this full video by Brielle, she has an amazing take on the whole situation. It also seems like we've lost the era where parents don't allow their children to get online because of how unsafe it is online. I remember growing up with Instagram just being created, like when I was leaving middle school. Twitter had become a thing. Facebook was the biggest thing at the time when I started getting into high school. And people were like scared of the internet. Parents were really cautious about letting kids get on the internet because of how dangerous it was. And it was arguably less dangerous then than it is now. I remember I created a Facebook behind my parents' back in 8th grade because I wasn't allowed to have one until I was in high school. And I got in so much trouble for that because there was too much of like my own information out there. And then one time my parents were like, don't use your own information when you're signing up for something. So I used my sister's. Just kind of threw her under the bus with that one. But now we have this era of like people, teenagers too, posting where they are in real time, what they're doing that day, what they do every week, where they are every week at certain times. And it feels like those conversations I was getting as a kid when I was first getting on social media are just not happening anymore. Maybe because there is a potential to make money on it now, unlike there was before. There was potential to make it, but now there's obviously so much more money in social media, and parents see that they can exploit their kids to make some of that money, so they maybe sacrifice some of the safety for it. But if I had access to all of this social media when I was like 16 or younger or even a little bit older, it would have messed me up more than I already was around those ages. I always say that I'm so glad that I didn't end up getting a platform on social media until I was like 21 or 22, also after I got sober, because with all of this access to everything online, we have access to literally like anything we want these days. It would have, things would have gone wrong. Developmentally, things would have gone wrong. I needed people to say no to me, and I needed people to teach me lessons before I had to teach the lesson myself by going through something horrible. And as Brielle talks about, there are scarier people on the internet these days than there were before. Maybe that's arguable, but there are still very scary people, even if there were really scary people before, and they definitely do have more creative ways about going about the bad things that they want to do. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the logical answer would be like, well, people shouldn't be able to have social medias until they're like 18 or something like that. And yes, but also like I still think of 18 as a child. Like I think we should just move all ages up. And I know if you're an 18-year-old or anything younger watching that, you're like, no, I want my freedom. And I know you do, and I know you do, and you deserve some freedom at that age for sure. But like when I did not, I shouldn't have been a legal adult at 18. But maybe my case was different. But I do think like we need to bring back the internet safety conversation that seems to have stopped being had with parents and children. Maybe I have a specific point of view on this because my dad worked in internet safety when I was growing up, specifically in things that had to do with regulating children's access to the internet. And he talked about very often how hard it is to do that because it's really hard for a computer, a social media platform, anything to determine the actual age of the person using it because people can put in whatever age they want to on the internet. And so it really falls to the parents. It really falls to the parents to make sure their children are being safe online. So, parents, listen up.